Welcome back to Junior College Hard 90. It's been a while. Winter championships are over and Junior College Hard 90 returns. I know you are excited, Noah, that your Howard Hawks won the men's basketball national title and that we get to return to this great show.
Absolutely. I know we were talking about it a little bit before we were recording, but it makes me feel really old. I believe the last team national title was in 2010 when they won it the last time. And that was 2 years before I got to campus at Howard. So it makes me feel a little bit old, but if one thing is for sure, Big Spring America loves them some Howard Hawks. And I could not be more excited. Was actually in a group text with the two other trainers of the basketball team my freshman year, because we were all on the same thing and we're like, we're doing it, guys. We couldn't do it a decade ago. But I mean, that just goes to show, like, even the relationships you build now 15 years ago, like, they still carry on. But I mean, now it's time to get on to baseball. It's the best time of year and everything is heating up and we got a lot to cover today.
This is the fun part where you start switching over from the winter championships and all the sole focus goes to baseball, softball, lacrosse, all the spring sports. So a lot happened in the junior college baseball world since the last show. So we got two of the most viral clips from any NJCAA sport. Pearl River baseball had the dugout ring cam, and then in the Butler and Highland game, that crazy bounce off the center fielder's forehead over the wall for the homer, that went viral as well. Noah, I know you live for junior college baseball getting the national spotlight. So what do you think of those two clips kind of breaking the internet?
So the Pearl River one, I feel like I should have known, because earlier in the year I got tagged in a home run celebration from the same camera, and I think the video is even in there, and I ended up making a GIF of it. But like, they didn't really say anything other than like, hey, look, we got this cool camera. And then them to post a video. I'm not going to lie. My inner millennial was blasting Mac Miller for the next week. I still am. Like, you can't go wrong with it. And then the Highland one, that one was just, I remember getting tagged in it. And I believe the whole Butler crew, it's all student ran. So like that's even cooler about the clip too. And I mean, getting tagged in it. And then what is it? It was on McAfee show. It was on Barstool. It was on ESPN. It was everywhere. And I mean, let me get this right, but what's his name? I'm going to butcher it because I always butcher names, but Tana Voss, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Like, the guy who hit the home run is actually having like a great year. He's a redshirt freshman, left-handed first baseman, hitting 451 with 13 doubles and 9 home runs before, that. So, I mean, it's not like the guy hadn't hit home runs. It's just, I mean, the ball sometimes bounces certain ways. I mean, that's very not the right words to say, but it fits. But I mean, it's just, and even though it does do it's just junior college and some of the guys were goofing around like Pearl River, but no, like Pearl River is an absolute wagon and they have been. And it's just, hey, we have the snacks and we have the fun. We just sometimes go about it in a little bit different ways.
Yeah, and both of those you get great recognition for the colleges, and it's a testament to the great work of the content production teams as well. Big shout out to BCTV. I know you mentioned it. They do a phenomenal job streaming all of the Grizzlies events. And then Pearl River's social team is always churning out highlights and really cool graphics. So both of those colleges do a really good job. Elsewhere in junior college baseball, there have been some absolute superstars that are worth mentioning, starting with John A. Logan and Cameron Yearsley. He's a Missouri State commit that leads the NJCAA and the country, 28 home runs in 39 games played. He's on pace to smash the record from last year, which was 31 by Tyler Myatt. And he has already set a school record for homers in a season at John A. Logan, and he's got 5 in his last 4 games. It is April. You're not supposed to hit that many home runs this early in the season. How crazy are those numbers?
And it's even crazier when you say that the school's in Illinois. So it's a cold weather team. I mean, I've talked to Coach Soup over there, and I was like, dude, like what's going on right now? And this was probably back in February after they went down to Florida and kind of got, I mean, they didn't have the greatest start, but he was just like, dude, I just kind of sit back and I kind of let him do his thing. I was talking to some other coaches in the region, and they were saying he's kind of getting the Brandon Brock treatment from last year from Southwestern Illinois, who's now killing it at OU. And then I'm looking at it too. And this is going to be a name back to way back when I started this, but Cale Baker from Wabash Valley, I believe it was 2019. Like, dude just came up and hit it. I think I saw some stat that he's hitting a homer about every 5 at bats, which is ridiculous. And I know I was joking with you when we were putting the notes together and I made the note and then saw that you did it too. But I mean, the record is it's 38 by Cade Johnson from Seminole State back in 1999. And he did that in 63 games. We're only 39 games. So we need 10 more home runs in about 20 games. So to say that the watch is on for the new NJCAA Division I home run king, the watch is on. I think this is the closest it's ever been. And I mean, you could say Harper was close, but he did it with a wood bat too. So you got a little bit of an asterisk there. But I mean, it's been a lot of fun to watch. He's kind of one of the guys, I guess, where I just kind of have his name penciled in of like players of the week. Like, okay, let me just check in and then I'll go somewhere else. I know he's on our watch list for the Small College Baseball Player of the Year award. He's kind of the front runner right now for the JUCO side, for the player side. So yeah, we've been following him all year, and I know it's been a lot of fun to listen to the coaches in that region just kind of be like, you can't pitch to him, you can't pitch around him. Like he just is there, and you got to deal with it.
Yeah, you're spot on, by the way. 38 homers by Cade Johnson of Seminole State in Oklahoma back in 1999. So we absolutely could be on national record watch for Mr. Yearsley. Let's talk about impressive team performances so far, and I want to focus on the East District. First off, Gaston is now 38-3 with 2 series wins against Flodar, and the Rhinos have some absolute ballers on their squad. Caden Davidson leads the NJCAA with a .516 batting average, is tied for the NJCAA lead with 74 runs batted in, and now he holds a Gaston College record for home runs in a season with 17. And while that is going on, Hartford has won 33 straight games in Region 20 with Ty Mercado second in the NJCAA in batting average at .506. So still plenty of baseball left to be played, but right now it's kind of funneling towards those two teams meeting in the East District title for a shot at Grand Junction.
Yeah, there was a tweet a while back. It probably was 2 weeks ago when Flodar and Gaston played that second series, and it was from the head coach over at Gaston, and he basically said it's a shame that both these two teams can't make it to the postseason. Which it's true. I mean, I have both of them. I think I have Gaston number 2. I have Flodar number 3. And even though only one of them is going to get out of that region, and then you throw Hartford in there, only one of them is going to get out of the region and then get to the districts, right? So if from what I've been told and what I know is kind of in the works in the next 2-3 years, this would be a year where you could, in theory, have 3 teams from the Northeast make it to Grand Junction. And I don't think anyone would really have an issue with it. Now, for Hartford, they do sometimes get a little bit overlooked because they are up in that Region 20, and they're one of two Division I teams with them in Potomac State or Potomac State, however you say it. But they don't play an easy schedule. I know they were a little bit upset. I was talking with Coach Josh over there the other day about it, and he was saying he's a little upset. They were supposed to go down to Tennessee to play Walter State. They had a second series with Flodar that got canceled. But other than that, I mean, their last loss was, I believe, the end of February to Flodar, and it was like a 2-3 run game. And since then, they've beaten Frederick, who was a World Series team last year. They beat Lackawanna, who was a World Series team last year. They beat Gloucester, who World 2-time defending national champ. So it's not like they're playing the easiest schedule. It's just they're playing the top teams from Division II and Division III, which if you don't know how good those schools are, you sometimes are like, well, they're playing these schools. Well, they're playing those schools, and they're boat racing everybody. So Hartford's always been able to hit, even before Josh got there. So it's going to come down to a slugfest. I think one of the best pictures I've seen, though, from Gaston is, I believe it's, what's his name? The guy leading the country, but one of his teammates, AI made him a horse, and I used it for a graphic the other day, and it's really funny. But no, it's just, and that's one of those other things where it's like, if you send me a funny picture of a guy being goofy like that, I'm going to try to use it the best I can. But I mean, like we've kind of said, like homers, hitting, and it's all levels of college baseball this year. Division I, Division II. I mean, I'm wearing a OSU sweatshirt right now, and good old Johnson County, Colin Bregeman just hit 4 home runs or 2 grand slams this last week. Like it's something about baseball this year and home runs and the long ball, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and the East District's been fun for a while with Gaston and Flodar going back to back, and then Hartford last year in that East District final played Flodar close, and it was a Florence Darlington Tech team that was really solid in Grand Junction. So a lot of talent stacking up in the East right now. And then from a rankings perspective in Division I, it's pretty unanimous across the board that Johnson County's the number 1, and for good reason. They lead the nation in runs, hits, RBIs, homers, and slugging, and they're doing stuff like this. Down by 2 to Allen County last weekend, down to their final strike, and Braden Giesler comes off the bench for a pinch hit walk-off 3-run homer that was a bomb, no doubter. JCCC has now won 22 in a row and is absolutely rolling as we move towards the middle of April.
I mean, that's a nice transition. I forgot this is where we were going, but talking about Colin Bregman, I mean, it's just, I made the joke on X the other day about there's something in the water at Overland Park. Like, when I was talking to them, I think I said this one of the first shows this year, but they've gone to Grand Junction the last 3 years. One of the years they were the 1 seed, and then they've just fallen short. When I was talking to their coaches, they said, we're tired of getting there and not being able to play and not winning. So we're going to build this team to literally play to the style of ball you need to play in Grand Junction. And they've done that. I mean, they've blown teams out of the water. I mean, they already broke their single season home run record of like 98. And I think they're like 125 right now. And they broke that 2 weeks ago. They've got, gosh, I'm going to call in Condon. They've got so many guys who double-digit home runs. Like, they're showing why they're the top team in the country, and their pitching is doing it too. So it's not just like, hey, we're in Kansas and we're going to hit. Like, their pitching, they're a pretty solid, complete team. Now, granted, you get to Grand Junction, you saw it last year. Like, anything can happen when you get into Colorado, and anything can happen in that amazing Kansas tournament, which it's one of my favorites every year. But I don't see them letting up at any point the rest of this season.
Yeah, and it's pretty rare when you have the NJCAA rankings, you got your rankings, and then all the other ranking sites that are all in agreement that they're the #1 team in the country. I mean, it has been top to bottom, really balanced for the Cavaliers this year, and excited to see them progress. Lastly, we've talked about it already this year, but the balance on the D2 and D3 levels is so good. In D2 right now, 3 of the top 4 teams in the latest NJCAA poll are from Mississippi. And then in D3, it feels like it's the first time in a while that there hasn't been a runaway #1 team in the rankings. Currently, it's Eastfield, SUNY Niagara, and RCSJ Gloucester that are separated by 5 total points in the D3 poll this week. So who has stood out to you in the D2 and D3 ranks so far?
I mean, D2, I think we've said it every single time we come on, and if I ever have a microphone in my hand, I'm always hyping up Mississippi. I mean, the big 3 this year have been East Central and Pearl River. Those were going to be the big first 2. And I believe at the beginning of the year, we're doing kind of our preview show, and it's Jones County. They are coming. They're tired of being that second-rate team. And I mean, I believe y'all have them 5. I think I have them maybe 4. I think I have 4 or 5 other Mississippi teams in the back half of the top 25 with Hines, with Northwest, with I think Southwest is up there. Like, it's going to be a knockdown, drag out come this last like month of the season in Mississippi, and I'm completely here for it. And then in the Division 3, I mean, yeah, like, you have the top dogs, right? You have Gloucester, who's won back-to-back. You have SUNY Niagara, who went undefeated all of last year. You have Eastfield, who stumbled down the way last year, didn't make it to the World Series for the first time, and I believe it was like 3 years. But before that, they lost 3 straight national titles. So it's like you have all those powers. One team I really was high on the beginning of the year was Hudson Valley. They're in that same kind of, I believe they're in the same region as Herc up there. I think it's Region 3, but they're 14-0. They've got wins over Century. They've got wins over Oakton and Northern Essex, who have all been World Series teams the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, the really next big test is Cayuga, who's been another D3 team that doesn't get as much love. Same Region 3 kind of style, but it's just, I believe they're 14-0. I might be a little off, but I mean, it's like I always say, the Northeast schools, if you don't go and kind of dig, you're not going to see it. I mean, they have some sick hats, and again, I'm a hat guy, so like, I'm going to look at that stuff, but like, it's just, it's awesome when you're digging through all these little schools and you're like, okay, they're not going to be the easy ones. Now, I would not be surprised if all 4 of these schools end up in, Tennessee this year. But it's getting to the fun time of year. All the cold weather schools are finally starting to get going, and it's only going to get more chaotic and more crazy the next few weeks.
Yeah, D3 going to Johnson City, Tennessee this year. That's going to be a lot of fun for that championship. So we're going to send you to a break. On the other side, we've got the upcoming schedule for this week in junior college baseball, and there are some big-time matchups you're not going to want to miss. So stay with us on Junior College Hard 90.
For the last 87 years, the NJCAA has provided academic and athletic opportunities to thousands of student athletes. However, several rules make it more challenging for 2-year college transfers. Recently, 16 national coaches associations, led by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association, sent a request for change to NCAA leadership to make the rules the same for all transfers. We commend their leadership and stand together in support of same game, same rules.
Good morning.
Why so serious? Great shot.
Car was 250. You got it.
Greenside bunker, land short. Trust your line. There's plenty of green.
Brakes towards the water.
Lots of coaching today, huh? We're one up.
When you strive to be the best, you need the right insights. Zurich has insurance solutions and risk strategies to help prepare your business for tomorrow.
Welcome back to JUCO Hard 90. A couple of really important tests coming up this week, and we start in Division I. Number 7 Blinn will play their 5th, 6th, and 7th games of the year against Sanjac, who is receiving votes in the latest poll. Thursday is at Blinn, Saturday is a doubleheader at Sanjac, and the Bucks lead Region 14 South by just 1 game. Sanjac has the chance to get back in the mix for the Region 14 South title if they can pull off a sweep. So what do you expect in this series?
So when I saw this on the sheet, I'm like, okay, yeah, I know. And I didn't know off the top of my head what the standings look like. And then I looked at it. So yes, this is a huge matchup, right? Because you have Sanjac sitting at number 3, you have Blinn at 1, they're 1 game up, but they're 1 game up on Wharton, who the next 2 weeks has, I believe, Alvin, who's number 4, and then they have, I think, Coastal Bend, and then they have Blinn and Sanjac to finish out the season, right? Well, if Sanjac can pull off a sweep, that and Blinn can sweep it, or Wharton sweeps, then Wharton jumps right up there into the driver's seat. And if they can win out, then they have to play Blinn the very last series of the week. And I don't believe Wharton's had a regular season title in a long time and hosted it how they do their regional. But I mean, it's because what did I have it right here? Blinn 16-5, Wharton's 15-6, Sanjac's, I believe, 12-9, and I think Alvin's 9-12. So like it's a close race. And it's going to come down. I believe we were talking about this last year. If I'm remembering right, we were talking about Wharton being in the mix just like this. And Wharton's not getting enough credit. We both kind of said it. Like, it's not really looking at them. And that's upsetting because I'm good friends with Trey over there. But, like, Region 14, the South, is really showing how much of a chaos it can be. And whoever gets the 1 seed is going to be battle tested and have a great, great shot to punch that ticket to Grand Junction, whoever ends up being the team that comes out of there.
Yeah, still a lot of baseball left to decide things, but this weekend's going to go a long way in helping shape that Region 14 South. Out west, a big top 15 matchup between Cochise and College of Southern Nevada starts on Friday. All 3 games are at Cochise. The Apaches took the series over CSN the last time they played and now sit just 1 game back in the ACCAC Division I standings. The Apaches have a lethal hitting lineup, top 15 in batting average, on base, and slugging as a team. And then the Coyotes have some dominant pitching, leading the NJCAA with a .216 batting average against. So this is a game that will have a lot of eyes on it from 4-year schools. What do you expect?
So Cochise, I think we said it when we previewed. It's funny. I think the last time we were on, all these teams were playing their first series against each other. So just, that's fun. But we kind of said it then too, but it's Cochise was that team where they're not the normal top team there in Arizona. You know, you have your Central Arizonas, you have your Arizona Westerns, you have your South, your South Mountains, your Pimas, those, and Cochise has kind of been that underdog. Like they're good, but they don't really win. And when doing all my preseason stuff, I was like, well, I think Cochise, is one of the best teams in Arizona. And a lot of people were kind of upset about that. And then you have CSN coming in their 2nd year in Region 1. And I could see them splitting. I could see them Central or Southern Nevada flipping the script and getting the wins here. And then I would not be surprised if these two face off again, being the 1 and 2 and facing again for that Region 1 title. I don't remember who exactly has their district's host this year. It might be them. So we could get, if things panned out, we could get another 4 games of these two again, with a lot more on the line than just like the number 1 spot in a conference, but for the host bid for a chance to go to Grand Junction. Like if they have the host, I'm not 100% sure on that one. They might, but I mean, it's going to be close. I think they were close last time. And I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about Sato, I think, last episode, but Cochise got a lot of talented freshmen, too. I think it's Gavin Mesa is one of the top freshmen in that lineup, and there's a bunch of guys that can get it done in the 1 through 9. So that's going to be a really fun matchup to watch. In Division II, there are a couple of big-time series this weekend with number 10 Lake Sumter State coming off a sweep of the defending national champion Pasco Hernando State. They will play number 13 St. John's River on Friday and Saturday. Now, we talked about the craziness in Region 14 South and Division I. This is an absolute logjam in the Sun Links Division II in Florida. So Lake Sumter leads that at 13-8. SJRS is only 2 games back, but in 4th place. So Division II in Florida looks really good right now, and this series will go a long way in deciding who the top seed is for that region tournament.
So I believe this is the second year Florida's had more Division II teams, or maybe it's the third. And the first 2 years were ran by St. John Rivers. And then last year, obviously, Pasco took the crown, took the title. And Lake Sumter, I believe they're the longest Division II team, if I'm remembering right. It's been them and Pasco for forever. It's been them two. And they've kind of been that little brother. You don't want to say little brother, but like not the team you would think of. And I don't follow Florida as much as I should, but it's one of those where it really is going to say a lot. And I think one of my favorite things every year, and he's doing it again, is Landon over at Pasco. Whenever he sees any rankings, whoever's it is, it's just the closed eye emoji. And it's like, it's one of my favorite things. And I've talked to him about it. So I get what's behind it, but it's going to Florida again. I mean, I think we've said it before, outside of Pasco Hernando, who had a great record going in last year, usually whoever makes it out of Florida and goes to Enid has a record where you're just kind of scratching your head like this doesn't make a lot of sense. But then they get there and they're miles better than what the record shows. And this year is going to be the exact same.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch develop. And then lastly, we wrap up in Division II with another top 20 doubleheader. This time it's number 19 Kankakee and number 8 Madison on Saturday. So Madison and the Wolfpack have played the least Region 4 games of the 26 teams in that area, thanks to the early season road trip they had out in Arizona. Now they get the chance to prove themselves in their region against a Kankakee team that has won 6 of its last 7, and most of which in pretty high-scoring fashion. So what can we expect between these two?
So both these teams Madison's always gone to Arizona. That's most teams from that area will go to Florida or they go to the Carolinas for spring break. But Madison's always gone to to Arizona. And so that trip's nothing new for them. Kankakee readjusted how they did their schedule this year after what happened last year with the at-large bids. But how Region 4 does their playoffs, it is one of the weirdest ways to do it. And I understand how it's done and I get it, but it doesn't make a lot of sense with the scale, and they did just revamp how they do it. So the records don't dictate really who's in first with how they do it. But this is going to be a lot because both these two teams, I believe, are one of the top tier teams in their region. So whoever gets these wins, it's going to give them a bunch of points in how they do their standings. It's going to basically let them kind of cement themselves as that top team in their region. And how they do it too. I mean, it's all Region 4s together, which kind of throws a little bit of things for a loop with the standings. But really, whoever wins this should be one of the few hosts in how they do their pod regional things for the regional tournament, which I think that's pretty cool. It's just when they come to doing their standings, it's a little funky if you don't understand how it's done. And those coaches have tried to explain it to me, and I still don't completely understand it, but I know it's their own fun way of doing it. But I mean, both these teams, Kankakee really had a rough start and then has come on strong. Madison went to Florida or Arizona, put the floor to the gas and has not really looked back. But it's going to be huge for both of them. I could see it being 2 low scoring games, but I mean, like you said, Kankakee's been scoring a bunch of runs, and it's going to be interesting to kind of see how these cold weather schools really get going coming down this stretch, especially with this big of a game that's going to dictate so much in how the standings look.
Yeah, we're heating up in the middle of April and still plenty of baseball on the way. We've got one more break. When we come back, it is the return of Hard 90. Noah gets his 90 seconds to talk junior college baseball. We're back in a moment.
As the second largest intercollegiate athletic association in the country, the NJCAA serves not only a pivotal role in college athletics, but in higher education. The NJCAA Foundation aims to move the association forward through resources, grant programs, and other special initiatives. Your gift to the NJCAA Foundation will make a difference and create opportunities.
Welcome back to Junior College Hard 90s. Zach McKinstry and Noah Sharp. Noah, you get 90 seconds to talk some junior college baseball.
I feel like this one's going to go a bit over, but I'm okay with it. It's been a while. But okay, so first off, huge congratulations to Coach Steve Ruzick. I butchered it, but over at South Suburban, he's now the second all-time winningest active coach in junior college baseball history. 1,400 career wins. That's, ridiculous. That's what, fifth all-time. And then had to give some shout outs a while back. The good old Savannah Bananas of the Banana Ball came here to Frisco, and I got to hang out with a couple of them. So they're littered with junior college and NJCAA guys. But the two coaches for the Tailgaters, you got Brandon Pennington and Andrew Bartman, who both coached at the junior college level. Brandon over at Pearl River and at Paris, and then Bartman was over at Wabash Valley. And then, a guy who's close to the national office over there, good old Taj Porter from Hines, one of your all's, I believe, vice president's nephews. But they're just all a bunch of there's tons more that are there. Just those are the ones off the top of my head. But then also coaches, the Small College Baseball Player of the Year award. It's kind of a fun award. Small ball media people are putting together, but all junior colleges in it. And if I ever miss any of the guys, the next watch list is coming out, I think, in the next week or so. So make sure I don't miss any, because I'm down to miss something. But yeah, that might be a little bit closer to it, but it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah, I feel like that was pretty tight. We did an interview too with DR Meadows, who is on that Chipola National Championship team, who's with the Savannah Bananas right now. And the broadcaster for the Bananas said that Banana Ball is built on the back of junior college dogs. So plenty of those at that level, and plenty more that will get to the next level. We've got a lot of junior college baseball coming this weekend. Be sure to tune into those games that we mentioned, and those races are heating up as we're in the middle of April. All right, everybody, that's all we got for you this week. We will be back next week. Junior College Hard 90 signing off.